Make no mistake, Chimaev is as good as advertised. Hamzat Chimaev is as tough as we were told. He is skilled as we were told. He is as good on his feet as he is at the in-between.
The first fight that he was ever really tested inside the octagon, and all the other fights that he's had 4 wins, he's been hit twice. And that's not 4 wins, he was hit twice.
Hamzat Chimaev is one of the scariest fighters in the UFC at the moment. He calls himself the Wolf, but dominates his opponents like a vicious lion inside the octagon. He's proven himself time and time again that he deserves to be a champion. Hamzat is no ordinary fighter and may become champion faster than you can imagine. If you don't believe that, here are 9 reasons why Hamzat will be a UFC champion one day. Number 9. His win against Li Jingliang after battling COVID. We know Hamzat has a breathing problem that started after he broke his nose at the age of 2. We also know that COVID-19 attacks the respiratory system. When Hamzat contracted the virus in November 2020, it was hard on him. He was constantly getting medical care. Before this, he was slated to face Leon Edwards in the main event of UFC Fight Night 183, but couldn't because he caught the virus. The effect of the virus on Hamzat lasted for 9 months. And that was 9 months of him fighting for his life. But less than 2 months after recovery, he faced Li Jingliang at UFC 267. Now, Li Jingliang at the time had only 6 losses from 24 fights in his entire MMA career. For Jingliang, fighting the new kid who just came off a long COVID battle would have been an easy-peasy task. Yet Chimaev still submitted Jingliang by rear naked choke in the first round, making Khamzat the only person to submit Jingliang in the UFC since 2015 and the first person to ever beat Jingliang in the first round. You've got to be afraid to face any man that can pull that off. Number 8, his wrestling stats. Now, before joining the UFC and even while in the UFC, Khamzat has been a Swedish professional wrestler. He's been active since 2015 and has never lost a match. But it's not just about his win streak. It's about his powerful takedown techniques in wrestling that got him to a 24-0 record. Khamzat possesses takedown styles that we've only seen among the best of the best, like Kamaru or the Eagle Khabib. But don't get it wrong, Khamzat is definitely not on the same level as these guys. But one thing is certain, Khamzat is as brutal as these top fighters when it comes to his base leg and double leg takedowns. They are offensive attacks that many fighters avoid, and Khamzat has mastered the art of putting anyone down with them. Speaking of fighting techniques, our number 7 covers his mystical fighting skills once he's in a fight. Khamzat performs with some of the most wizardly techniques you'll ever get to see a pro fighter do. He has a way of utilizing both incredible wrestling and his intimidating striking. He grips his opponents tight, forces them to back the wall of the octagon, and sends them to the ground. His grappling is very often compared to Khabib Nurmagomedov's, who many consider one of the greatest of all time, because of how similar they are. One of the most notable examples is his use of handcuff lock and leg hooks. And you have to keep in mind that he's a freestyle wrestler, so he probably has thousands of other techniques we haven't seen him use in the octagon. Our number 6 reason is his epic fight with Reyes McKee at UFC on ESPN 14. Now think about this logically. A rookie in the UFC wins his debut fight. He's not afraid of who they might fix him up with next, or if he's willing to go through that amount of pain again. He goes straight to the UFC president and requests a second fight to be put in place as soon as possible. And just 10 days later, he fights Reyes McKee. Right from the start, Hamzat lifted Reyes and took him down to the mat. Hamzat pounded Reyes until he was finished and could no longer continue the fight. It took Hamzat only 3 minutes to wrap up Reyes in such a brutal manner. Keep in mind that this was just 10 days after his debut fight. That's champion material right there. Number 5 is about how much of this guy we have and haven't seen in the octagon. We've seen how Hamzat finishes his opponents during a fight. Combining the time he spent on all of his 5 fights, he's only been in the octagon for 23 minutes. If he can be that lethal in just 23 minutes, what's he capable of if he fights in the octagon for a longer time? Well, we don't know. And that's exactly why many other fighters may just be afraid to fight him. You can bet that's going to be very, very interesting when we continue to see Hamzat Chimaev fight other top contenders in the welterweight division. We may have only gotten a glimpse of Hamzat's true potential. Number 4 is his background training. Hamzat Chimaev trains at the All-Star Training Center in Stockholm, Sweden. Hamzat is so involved in his training that he could go a week or 2 without leaving the gym. He sleeps, eats, and essentially lives in the training center. That's why he's always ready for a fight. That's why he's confident he can take anybody down, and that's why fighters fear him. He's also training alongside some of the best MMA fighters in Europe, like Alexander Gustafsson, Iyer Latifi, the Tamir brothers, and Nico Musoke. These guys have garnered so many fighting experiences over the years and know some of the oldest tricks in the book. Number 3 is his wrestling match against Jack Hermansson. Hamzat Chimaev faced Jack Hermansson at Bulldog Fight Night 9 in freestyle wrestling. Jack is currently in the middleweight division of the UFC, and that's why this fight was so important, because Jack was 6th in the top 15 rankings for the middleweight division at the time. For Jack to be in the top 10, he's definitely not a deadbeat fighter. He went head-to-head with Hamzat, and Hamzat won. And sorry to disappoint, but there's no bad blood between the two. These two are actually friends. Number 2, his fight against Gilbert Burns. Hamzat, who only had 4 fights in the UFC, defeated a 4-time Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champion and the number 2 ranked welterweight in the world. It doesn't get any better than that. And while most people might argue that the fight was very close, respect is due to Hamzat for putting up such an amazing performance. Gilbert, on the other hand, brought the fight to Hamzat. He showed the world that Hamzat wasn't invincible inside the octagon. Now that Hamzat has defeated a top 3 ranked fighter, he faces Nate Diaz on the 10th of September 2022. If he wins that fight, MMA pundits believe that he will become the number 1 contender for the UFC welterweight title. But before we talk about the number 1 reason why Hamzat will be champion, we want to let you know that if you're a new subscriber, kindly go comment I subbed in the comments below and stand a chance to win our monthly shoutout contest. We're happy you joined our MMA family, so go comment I subbed now. Our number 1 reason is a fight with Ikram Aliskerov. If you've disagreed with us for every single point made in this video, you can't deny the fact that Hamzat defeating Ikram was a dominating statement that he made in the world of combat sports. Ikram Aliskerov is a combat sambo world champion and competes in the middleweight division of Braid Combat Federation. Ikram is a really good fighter. He was on an 8-fight win streak before meeting the Wolf, Hamzat Chimaev. It took 2 blistering front kicks and an uppercut to KO Ikram in just the first round. Till today, Ikram's loss to Hamzat is the only loss of his career. Many hardcore fight fans are certain that Hamzat will become champion one day. The only question is, when and against who? Make sure you check out this video showing on your screen. Bye for now.